Hi everyone, my name's Simon and welcome to another episode of the Maserati Guy. So today could be quite an interesting day because I'm taking the SL500 that I showed you in the previous video out for a pre-purchase inspection and to also do some photography and to show you around it a little bit and just then to make a decision as to whether to go ahead and change over the CL500 for the SL500. So the issues that I'm facing at the moment is that I have three very similar cars, two-door, four-seat coupes with big V8s in them. And really I feel that the CL500 doesn't get as much use as it could do simply because it's the same as the other cars. I think that maybe changing it for a Vario roof convertible might be a way of getting more use out of my third car. So that's why I'm going to look at maybe trading this up to an SL500, making sure it's the right one obviously, and yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. So let's get going. So unfortunately it didn't quite work out as I'd planned. I went over to the Oldtimer Centre to pick up the SL500, took it for a quick spin, then dropped it off at a local Mercedes specialist for a PPI. And these are the results, and it's not pretty. Okay, so we can go through these and I'll just talk a little bit about them because I think it might be useful. So the first one is really trivial, but to me it speaks volumes. Okay, front and rear batteries not mounted correctly. Okay, so that in itself is not important. I mean, you can always clamp the batteries down again and fix them in place, but why? Why are they not mounted correctly? That, to me, indicates that this is a car that's not been looked after. Faulty Parktronic. Yeah, it's a pain in the backside. It could have been the trade plate that I had hanging off the back was just obscuring one of the sensors, but they can be expensive. Now we get to some of the big ones. Tandem pump vibration. Now, in the SLs and CLs that have the ABC suspension, the steering pump, power steering pump, and the ABC pump are one and the same. So that's why they're called tandem, because they're kind of fitted together. It's got a vibration from that. That indicates that one of the bearings is probably shot, and that will be expensive. Oh, this was a classic. All tyres need replacing. Yes, all tyres indeed do need replacing on this car. And the rear tyres had a date code of 2009, which is 9 years ago. So again, that speaks to me of a car that's just not been looked after properly. Lower control arms, the ball joints need replacing. The issue with that is that you have to drain the brake fluid. And when you drain the brake fluid, there's a chance that your SBC, your servotronic brake control, is going to fail. And the reason for that is that it's the original servotronic. So that's never been replaced, which means that it's due to fail. Oil filter housing seal, that's trivial. Shock dust boot split, that's pretty trivial. ABC fluid dirty. Now this is another red flag for me. You know, if the ABC fluid hasn't been changed regularly, if the filter hasn't been replaced, that's a big red flag, because it means that there's grit in the system. And I also noticed that the car was actually slightly not level. And again, you know, given my experiences with the CL and the ABC suspension on that, I think we decided to steer clear of this car. What else was there? Inner steering rack end play, wheel bearings need adjustment, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Cigarette lighter faulty, sun visor, cup holder, front tail shaft coupling needs replacing, and a brake flush. So the brake flush again would probably cause the SBC unit to fail, and so that's probably about it. there's really too many red flags. There's some quite serious things here. Obviously the SBC could be expensive, the ABC fluid could be expensive, but also things like, you know, not having the batteries mounted correctly. I mean, that just smacks of a car that just hasn't been looked after. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look out for another SL. Might even look at a 350, which has got the V6, because that has a traditional suspension, doesn't have the ABC problems. So I think that might be an option. Yeah, might be a little bit cheaper. Might be able to get a slightly newer model. So that's where I am with the SL plans. It was interesting. I did take my CL to a dealer for an appraisal, and although it's not worth very much in trade-in, he did comment that it was probably the finest SL500 he'd seen in Sydney. And that is probably true because, I mean, it's only done 56,000 kilometres. It's immaculate inside. I've just put 4 new Bridgestone tyres on it, on those nice AMG wheels. So I'm really tempted to hang on to it. But I do, as I say, I've got 4 cars that are all very similar. It would be really nice to have a convertible for when the weather improves. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. What should I do? Should I hang on to the SL500? Should I look for an SL500? Should I look for a SL350? What about an SLK as well? SLK 350 would be a lot of fun, and I'd be able to get a much more modern one of those because they're obviously a lot cheaper. So let me have your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the idea. Thanks very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give the like a click. Don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at Maserati Guy 2017, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.